Hey guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to remove the deck, change the blades, and then reinstall the deck on a 2020 John Deere E110. So let's get started. Before we get started, let's talk about a few of the tools and things we're going to want to have to do this job. First of all, guys, we've got our operator manual here just so we can reference the instructions on how to do this and also look at things such as our torque specs for our blades. So moving back here, we do have a torque wrench so we can make sure and get those blades torqued down to spec. Got a pair of needle nose pliers to help with any pins and clips that are underneath when removing the deck. We also have a breakover bar here to be able to take those blades loose. Our 24mm socket that's going to be used to take the blades off and put them back on. We've also got a block of wood here that we're going to use to wedge underneath that deck to help us from those blades slipping when taking those old blades off and putting on the new ones. And then last but not least, we've also got a set of blades here on this E110. It's going to be a 42-inch deck, so we do have the two blades that are made for that deck. So from here, guys, let's go ahead and get underneath the tractor and start taking that deck loose. So being as that the E110 has a manual PTO engage or manual blade engage here, there's gonna be a few extra steps that there may not be on a model that has an electric blade engagement. So what I'm gonna do here is go by the step-by-step instructions on how exactly to get the deck completely loose from underneath the tractor to start. So for step one, we're gonna lower that deck all the way to the ground. Step two is going to be getting our cable loose here. This is going to be the cable that pulls on the tensioner pulley to engage those blades. So to take that loose, we've got one pin here. We're going to pull that loose and simply pull back on the cable and pull it up and out of this bracket here. Step three here is going to be taking our belt loose from the drive pulley here in the front. What we're going to do is work that up and out of this L bracket on this side and up and out of the L bracket on the other side until that belt just falls loose here on the top of the deck. Step four here is going to be taking loose this spring and this rod here so we can make room to eventually get our big spring loose here. So to take this spring loose, we just pull it up and out of this hole and off of the bracket. And then to take this rod loose, we just go up and out, and then just simply move it over here out of the way. Step five is going to be taking loose our big spring here from our tensioner idler. And now that we've gotten our belt loose, we can pull this forward, get a little closer to us, give that spring a bend, and then just take that loose there. Step six here is going to be taking loose our two back linkages. What that is going to consist of is one pin here, and then also making sure that we get that washer. And then we've got a pin back here on this arm. And one more washer. And then we'll simply take loose both of these arms here. One there. And one here. Now, keep in mind, we also have another set on the other side, so we'll move over now and show you those. As a continuance of step six, we're over here on the other side of the tractor now, where we will do the exact same thing. Take loose one pin here, and make sure to get that washer. And then our back pin here. Same thing, get that washer, and now we will just take our arms loose here. So one there, and then one here. And step seven here, or our last step, is going to be getting loose this front linkage. This is where those pliers seem to come in handy here. Just take that loose there, and then take our washer off here, and then just simply let your front linkage loose there. And now, guys, from here you should be completely removed from the underside of that deck and ready to pull that deck out from underneath. So now that we've got the deck loose from underneath the tractor, we can pull it out from underneath. Just making sure not snagging our cable or our belt. All right, now once we have our deck out from underneath, this is a great time, guys, to go ahead and check those things. Go ahead and check those pulleys on top, make sure they still feel smooth. Also make sure and check our belt, make sure everything looks good there. If you need to, go ahead and remove these covers to check those things fully. But while you've got it out here, guys, you may as well check those out. As you see, this is pretty dirty on top. We should probably go ahead and clean this off while we're at it. So once you have that deck off, the next thing is going to be finding a sturdy place to either set it up, or flip it over. Just be careful, that you're not damaging anything on top. I always find a sturdy spot here to set it up that I can work on. And then next, we're just gonna start removing these blades. This is where our block of wood's gonna come in handy. Find you a spot here, make that sturdy for whenever you're taking that blade loose. So then we'll take our breakover bar here, and we'll just start to pop that loose. And we get it loose enough there, we'll take it off by hand. Make sure to take off that washer and just remember which side needs to go on there. And we'll take off our old blade here. Go on with our new one. Now keep in mind, these are notched. You also want to make sure that you're going back on the same way that you took it off there. That out of the way for just a second here, and line that up, and we'll go back on with our washer and back on here with our nut. Find us a sturdy spot there, and then we'll switch out here to our torque wrench. Now, in the operator manual, it says to have these torqued down to 65 foot-pounds, which we do have that set up for. So we'll just start going back on here. There it is. You're just waiting on that click, and there it is. So you know there that we're torqued down to the right spec. From here, guys, we're just going to complete that same process here on the other side. All right, guys. And that's all there is to changing those blades. So now we'll go back on underneath in the opposite way that we took it off. So now that we got those blades changed, we'll start going back underneath. First thing here, we'll go ahead and get that front linkage put back in. Looks like we need to come forward just a touch here. go. Got that popped in there. And then we will go back on here with our washer. And back in here with our clip. All right, next step here is going to be going back on with our rear linkages. So we'll get this cable out of our way here. Go back on with one here. Back on with our washer. And then back on with our pin here. All right. And we'll go back on with our rear arm here. Now, keep in mind whenever you're putting these on, they do have a certain way they need to go. You need to actually have your loop on the hanger facing the rear. So once we have that lined up there, make sure not to drop it. And go back on like so. And we'll go on with our washer and back on with our pin. Just like that. Now we'll move to the other side. All right, over here on the other side, do the same process. Go on with one there, and then our washer, and our pin, and then we'll go on with our rear hanger here. In with that, make sure our loop is facing the rear, and back on, and on with our washer, and back on here with our pin. All right, so next step here is going to be reinstalling our spring here that goes on our tension cable. And also, while we're at it, we'll go ahead and reinstall this rod that we got out of our way a moment ago. All right, and then also, while we're down here, we will go ahead and reinstall this spring here. Now we'll move up front here and go ahead and reinstall our belt. Like I said, we have one of these L or J hooks here on either side, so we need to make sure and first get our belt ran down into those hooks. And once those are in, make sure to get that belt to where it is running in that pulley. And last but not least here, guys, we need to get our tension cable put back into its bracket. So we're just going to pull that forward, slide that in, and then go ahead and reinstall our holder pin here. All right, guys, so once you're done with all of that, you can raise that mower back up, be able to take your mower where you need to go, and you've just seen all of the step-by-step instructions on how to remove the deck, change the blades, and reinstall the deck on the 2020 John Deere E110. Now, if you're watching this video because you have this mower, or maybe you have any other John Deere mower, make sure to check out that link in the description below where you can go to buy those parts directly from me, or go and check us out at west-equip.com/parts. And guys, if you like this video, if it helped you out, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, as that helps us out and shows me some love. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.